I remember, before I got to know him better, I'd be on the phone with him and ask him a question, and there'd be silence. And it was just like, all right. And then silence. And then silence. I'm thinking, well, maybe he's hung up or whatever, and suddenly the answer would come. He's been thinking about it really, really, really long and hard, and the answer wouldn't necessarily be the answer to the question I'd asked. It would be the question multiplied, and the answer would be coming in this wonderfully oblique, scientific, philosophical way, and suddenly the discussion would move off into a far more interesting dimension. He's a Zen master of whisky.
He's one of these people I've seen where I've been in meetings with him and you actually think he's in a world of his own, you know, he's just deep in thought, and then all of a sudden just comes up with this answer and we all go, oh, we didn't think about that. And I think that's shown in everything he does. He doesn't rush into things.
I can remember when I first started, everybody talked about Jim. He had this huge sort of aura and immense respect amongst people that worked with him over the years. And I remember being quite nervous when I first met him because I wasn't sure what to expect. But he was the most down-to-earth, humble, nice man that you could ever have imagined to meet.
He was one of the people that interviewed me to join the team. So it's always been very gratifying that Jim saw something in me when I applied to join the whisky team, and then he's taken time to sort of nurture, mentor, coach over the years and sort of help me become the blender that I am today.
Jim really became a sort of guru for me. Long conversations about all kinds of aspects of whisky making and blending and so on. His keynote is his humility. He's a very, very modest chap. He's hugely intelligent, hugely thoughtful. He really has been one of my mentors over the years.
The part I was most interested in was flavour and trying to understand where it was produced and how it changed with time. 10, 15 years just looking at the way we make flavours for Johnnie Walker. Working as we did within that community of scientists, very clever people who were looking at this whole subject of whisky flavour. And in a way, I'm standing on the shoulders of those giants because they taught me a lot. That was the beginning of my journey. I then developed skills to understand the flavours and interpret them and communicate the kind of languages that we use to describe flavours. They were all part of the learnings we did together. And so gradually using that knowledge then to enter into the world of blends and how the flavours then combine together to create great brands like Johnnie Walker. Lots of stories behind all the pictures. One of the big ones will be of the team itself, like this picture here, which just captures the whisky team, and that was a really important session we had there. And there, these two are really good. So that was a great day. When you're awarded an OBE or these awards, you attend at what they call an investiture. A great honour, really. I'm representing all the work of the team and others in Scotland who make our amazing products. So, you know, it's great to get that recognition. So it was a very special time. I was very impressed by Her Majesty. She was very well informed. We had a very interesting conversation. So it was a great day. The Explorers Club in New York, that was an amazing place to be. And the reason why I was able to join that club was in recognition of how we as blenders explore flavour. and look for new expressions and ways of creating our blends. And that's the connection between the kind of explorers who look at the world and our kind of exploring who look at the world of flavour and how we create Johnnie Walker blends.
So the Blue Label was only introduced, I think, in the 1990s.
It was first launched as Johnnie Walker Oldest. Because Johnnie Walker Oldest had a blue label, just as Johnnie Walker Red and Johnnie Walker Black had been given that title, so Johnnie Walker Oldest became Johnnie Walker Blue Label.
Yes.
And at the time, the brief was to be a blend of our rarest and special whiskies.
And rarity is a much wider concept than just closed distilleries or old distilleries. It's about rare flavour as well.
Absolutely. I mean, Blue Label is made up from a wide variety of malts, a wide variety of ages as well, also a number of different cask types. So what we do with Blue Label is we're trying to make the most complex, most intriguing, most just unique blended whisky we possibly can, using all of these different factors.
My main thing about the Blue Label was spending a day with Jim, late 90s I would think probably. We were holed up in a hotel here in Edinburgh. We were trying to work out the perfect serve. We were trying this and that. I was very thirsty and so I went behind the bar to get a glass of water. And Jim surprisingly gave a little yelp. He wasn't the sort of person to do that. He said, "Charlie, I think I've got it," you know. And I said, what? He'd also had a sip of water. But it was from the ice bucket. It was very, very cold water. Then he tasted the whiskey straight, and this was it. If you chill your palate and then take a sip of Blue Label, it is like velvet. It's the most amazing experience, unbelievable.
If you want to know all about whisky, and Scotch especially, if you really are all about wanting to understand flavour and really enjoy flavour, then Johnnie Walker Blue to me is one of the ones you really need to try. There's a sort of kaleidoscope of flavours comes through, you know, from the first sip, then, you know, you'll get some nice fruity Bolton, and then you get the sort of oaky flavours coming through, and then, you know, it just keeps on giving.
It's a word that's overused, a phrase that's overused, but it was a game changer. An amalgamation of amazing flavours, an amalgamation of fantastic whiskies. It just coming and going, boom. Here's a statement of intent. It's just an extraordinary whisky.
I think Johnnie Walker Blue Label in a way captures all of the skills in Scotland that are used to create amazing whiskies. From the people who distill the whiskies in our distilleries, to the coopers who build the casks in which the whiskies matured, to the coppersmiths who build the stills, and then to all those within the process who then carefully control all of that and look after all the various elements that are so important to create whiskies which then mature in our warehouses for long periods of time, creating rare flavours. And then the skills of the blenders to then combine those different whiskies and create an amazing expression like Johnnie Walker Blue Label. So in a way, Johnnie Walker Blue Label sums up all of those skills in a glass. There is always the right time, and it feels, for me, this is the right time to retire. In a way, all the work that I've done and the legacy that I leave is in the hands of the whisky team, and they have become a very skilled and capable group of people, and so it's really time for us to leave it up to them, and to pass the responsibility of Master Blender to Emma.
It's been a great honour to be asked to sort of take on the Johnnie Walker Master Blender mantle after Jim. I've learnt so much from Jim, and my hope is to sort of take that on board, continue it, but also then develop it my own way. So I think you're helping to create the sort of story for the people that come after you, which is very important, but you are making sure that we're making the right decisions today for the future.
I can think of all that's been achieved and move on and think and do different things, and that's really what this is about. This is the time to move on and do something different.
So many emotions are sort of coming together as Jim's talking about retiring. It's been great to work with him over the years, learn from him, come to understand his sense of humour as well, because he's got a wicked dry sense of humour.
The best thing about working with Jim is generosity, and I mean that. He passes on his knowledge and his experience in blending on a daily basis and manages to get the best out of you and the best out of your work without you almost even realising it, by kind of pushing you and nudging you in the right directions, but never giving you the answer, just helping you find it yourself and come to the best result. So I really appreciate that about Jim, and he feels like a friend within the team while we're working together, and I'll always remember that and always appreciate that going forward in my career. I think after 40 years it's a well-deserved retirement, but I'm absolutely certain that it will be very missed by everyone on the team.
We'll miss his knowledge and his personality, his aura in the room.
I'm going to miss him immensely. You know, Jim, thank you. You know, that's all I want to say, really. Thank you for your patience and your understanding, and all those wonderful, quiet looks across the table, these kind of secret laughs that we've had. You know, Jim's got a great sense of humour. People don't always see, because they'll go, "Oh my God, it's Jim Beveridge," you know. But he's a really, really funny guy in a very quiet way. So I'm going to miss his humour. I'm going to miss his laughter. But he'll still be around. You know, we will stay in touch. He's been part of my life for a long time, so it's not just because he's retiring doesn't mean he's going away. So all I can say is, Jim, thank you, Slàinte. Have a great retirement, but I'll see you soon.
Good luck in your retirement. I hope you enjoy it, but I'd miss him because he's been there for so long in part of my life, from work-wise, and it'll be different. We'll miss him, and I'll need to find somebody else to have as a mentor.
Well, you know, I mean, I hope to keep in touch with him. I hope he'll be at the end of the telephone line from time to time. I hope our paths will cross. I would be surprised if he doesn't do something within the whisky industry in his on the side, you know, and I'm sure his services and advice would be very, very gratefully received by some new blenders or whatever. Good luck, Jim.
I will really miss him, not just because he loves to come over to the archive for a nice cup of tea and a sandwich and a wee chat, and I think it'll be sad to not be sharing those moments with him, but I can't thank him enough for everything that he's shared with me over the years, and I do wish him all the best for the next chapter in his life, which I know he'll absolutely love.
We want to keep on exploring like the big bold flavours, so that's what Johnnie Walker is known for. It's bold flavour, it's high quality, but it's very enjoyable whiskies as well. So how do we continue to bring that together, but combine it with the exploration of flavour again that Jim started with, walking forward and carrying on that sort of that experimental zeal, that enthusiasm that's always come from John Walker and through the family and through to Jim. So we need to make sure that keeps on going. I think from the people you've met in the team, we definitely have that at the core. So yeah, we have that across all the wonderful people we get to work with in Scotch. So I'm very, very enthusiastic. There's a slight fear, but I think you need the fear to make yourself move forward as well. So and I think Jim sort of set us up in the right way for the future to sort of carry on the great work that he's done.